Hello YouTube, this is Kaiser. I'm going to do a deck profile here of Nectar's Musketeers. Yeah, I like the deck, it's pretty cool. It's a very skillful base deck. It doesn't hit like massive numbers or do other things that like some decks do, like multiple attacks for Sonar Blast, huge power-ups, attack on hits. It doesn't do anything like that. The way this deck plays is it's basically there's two things. It gets you the optimal field by trading a card in play and looking at your top and picking what kind of card you want in exchange. So it gets like optimal cards like that. It optimizes your field. You can get pluses off like the limit break, but most of all the deck is really good at deck thinning. And late game, very often the deck comes down to being very heavy with triggers, and late game can basically just be very trigger heavy and dominate it like that. But yeah, it's a very skillful deck. I like it. Get started with it. Starting Vanguard, Broccoli. She's a Musketeer and she helps the deck be consistent by searching for grade 3s. Yeah. I don't think I could ask too much more out of a starter for this deck. This card's very viable. You can either kill it to look for another Musketeer or get your grade 3. And sometimes late game, shuffling her back in the deck with Cecilia is useful because she's a 10 shield. As for the triggers, we have 7 crits. And then 5 draws. I like the 5 draws to 5 crit ratio, just because I like the advantage of the draws and the consistency for defending, but obviously you need crits. I don't think I'd run 6. The deck, as I said, late game, it makes the deck small, it thins the deck, so I don't want to be too draw heavy, but I haven't really had any problems at all in the last 2 days of playtesting it with decking out. There have been times I got close but never actually done it, so I think 5 is good. And then obviously for the last trigger we have 4 heals. So that's it for the zeros. Under the ones, 4 8K vanilla dragons. Yeah, like you need to have an 8K pretty much so that you can hit good numbers against like cross rides and stuff. Like, especially since Dandelion, Musketeer Dandelion isn't like out yet, so it's harder for the Vanguard to hit good numbers, so you need like an 8K behind Cecilia. Then we have the standard 4 perfect guards, and then we have the Musketeers. There's 2 Ruth here. Very good card. She's a 10K attacker, grade 1 on the rear guard, or a 7K booster. Very versatile card. And then we also have Mira. She's the self-damaging unit, but to be honest, I don't plan to keep Mira around. I am 99% sure this Mira is going to become a 3rd Ruth, so you should probably consider it as I'm playing 3 Ruth, because that's what I'm aiming for. Then last of the grade 1s, we have 4 Rebecca. She's one of those Papa Musketeer, look at your top 4, call a Musketeer, so she optimizes the plays and thins the deck. And she's a 7K booster. So all around good card. The grade 2s, we got 4 Cavani. He's the grade 2 Papa card. Look at your top 4 from Musketeer and call it. So again, he's just optimizing the field, being a Musketeer, having decent power. Then we have 4 August. He's the get +3 when he attacks, so 12K grade 2. He helps you hit good numbers. Since like you most of the time have 7K boosters in this deck, he teamed up with a 7K booster, can hit 19, which is a good spot to swing against like MLB or a cross ride. And like sometimes you team up with Corolla to hit 20 against, depending on like your opponent's Vanguard if you're swinging at a rear guard, but he's useful because he hits decent numbers even with 7Ks. And then last of the grade 2s, we have 3 Mira. There's no 10K vanilla in here because he wasn't like consistent enough with the deck, and having more Musketeers turned out to be more useful, especially her, because she works with what the deck's aiming to do. Thin the deck down to more trigger heavy, because she can counter blast and then in turn shuffle your triggers back, as well as cards that self damage are very like tactical, because you can heal block the opponent, trigger limit break a turn early, and you're putting triggers back in your deck. And then grade 3s, we have the Vanguard of the deck for Cecilia's. She's a very cool card. She's not a very aggressive deck. Like, this deck isn't very aggressive, period. Her limit break's pretty decent. It gets you the +2 if you have 2 open zones to call it with. And it shuffles guys back into the deck, which if your deck's getting low, you can use it to not deck out. That's not usually what you use it for. Usually shuffling the cards back isn't that helpful. It's the pluses you get out of swinging the cards most of the time that you like. But it's very good, and it can help in a lot of very different ways. It's just a very good effect, but mostly her second effect of retiring a rear guard once a turn and looking at your top 5 instead of the 4 like the others, and it's not a counter blast. She fuels her own effect. She's a good card. A lot of things to say about her. And then last we got 3 Harriman. You'll notice there's like 7 grade 3s here. With the starting Vanguard being able to search for a grade 3, I didn't feel the need to have like 8 grade 3s. I've never really miswrote a grade 3 in all the play testing. It's usually hard to get a grade 2. Yeah, it's a very good deck. Very good. It's a very good deck. Very good. I like it. It takes a lot of like practice, I think, to really like get used to it. So it's not something I would just take and jump into a tournament with. You should probably get to know it before you play it, but it's cool. Thanks for watching.